Welcome back to the Life at Leyton podcast. We are sitting down today with Adanya Hott for a conversation exploring her journey from Dublin to London, her role here at Leyton and successes in the Irish market. So Adanya, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Do you want to start off by sharing what motivated your move from Dublin to London and how the transition influenced your personal and professional life?
Yeah, well, to be honest, after college, I've as much as I love Dublin, I do like to kind of move around a bit. So I did Berlin, then I moved home, and then actually in my previous job, the main office was in London. So I travelled back a little bit, back and forth, and I had friends living over here. So the more I came to visit them, the more I realised, okay, I actually think I'd like to move to London. So yeah, I kind of just decided, it was on the cards for a while, and it came to a point where I was just like, much as I love Dublin, I'm only 24 at the time, so I was like, why would you not go? So yeah, I just decided to go over, and yeah,
you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how have you found things since moving to London? How's life been here? You settled in?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's been very quick. It's been 8 or 9 months, but it just doesn't really seem like it. Because again, I moved on the Saturday, started work on the Monday, so it was just straight into it. But again, the culture is not very different or anything. So while I was moving, it wasn't like I was moving very far. So it's the same but different in a way. Yeah.
Home from home.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do for Leyton in London?
So I'm a BDE, so Business Development Executive.
And you're supporting us a lot with our Irish business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things, to be honest, that they mentioned in the interview was how they were expanding into the Irish market, which is why I then became quite interested in the job itself. So my primary focus has been Ireland.
And how have you found going after, I guess, a kind of untapped market in Ireland? How's that been?
Yeah, there's obviously absolutely loads of opportunity, but half the battle is nearly educating people before you can even get into the actual process itself, which has definitely been interesting, different from what I'm used to, but again, there's just so much potential.
Yeah, fantastic. So what attracted you to Leyton initially, and how has your first impressions of the company compared to your expectations walking in?
Yeah, well, I suppose what attracted me in the first place was kind of what I've just said. I was obviously looking for a job in London, but I kind of was getting to the stage where I've had kind of 2 jobs before this, and I did want something that was going to be a bit more long term, more than just your year and a bit. And then the fact that they were like, well, look, we're opening an office in Ireland, there is going to be opportunity there as well. So I was like, well, look, while I'm moving here, if for whatever reason I did want to go home, there is still an opportunity to work for the same company. That really kind of drew me to it as well. I quite like that aspect of it. And then, yeah, I really liked the fact that my previous job was very much on the road quite a bit. So it was office based, which I know people seem to want to be working from home more, but I was like, please just get me back into an office. So that I really liked that aspect of it as well.
Fantastic. And I guess we always talk about, that buzzword culture, and what was the impression that you had going through the interview process? How's that married up to, building relationships in the office and in the team? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, it is. The interview, while obviously, they are very professional, there is a layer of, or I found there was a layer of kind of a friendliness to them as well, where you're not kind of sitting there going, oh God, I have to obviously, look, you do want to impress people in an interview, but it was a very kind of calm vibe, let's say, that was in the interview, which automatically kind of attracted me to the role a little bit more. And then when I got here as well, even from the first week, it was very welcoming. Everyone, again, while I said it is very professional, there is a level of kind of calm to it that I quite like as well.
Great, I love that. So as a business development executive at Leyton, how does your current role differ from your previous experiences in similar positions? You've already mentioned not having to be on the road all the time.
Yes.
But is there anything else that compares?
Yeah, I suppose the time management aspect is a bit different, because while in any kind of previous job I've had in either sales or recruitment, they were kind of full roles in the sense of I was doing the cold calling, I was sitting in the meeting myself as well, but this is just different from, I suppose, a time management perspective where, you know, you're not out in the road, you're 3 days, so you have what seems like more time, but I find that way time can actually escape you a little bit quicker, because like, oh, well, I have all day to do this. So it is just, I think, you know, managing your time a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely can see that. How are you supporting and engaging with the Irish market from your base in London, and what unique challenges or opportunities have you encountered?
Yeah, I mean, I think because for the first couple of months, look, it was just a lot of settling in, getting my head kind of around the job itself, understanding the ins and outs of it all. So it's mainly been kind of over Teams and phone calls at the moment. But one thing I'm definitely looking to do kind of in the future is do more kind of face-to-face visits. Spend maybe a week every month or so over there traveling to different clients. Even if we've met them before, just go over, you know, let them know that we are there. Not just kind of once a year, we are there for support throughout the year, especially now how with kind of more innovation funding and helping people with grants and things like that, letting them know that, look, if you do have any questions, we will be there. Just give us a call, basically.
Great, okay, fab. You mentioned, you know, the initial part of you joining Leyton, and it does take a little bit of time to get settled and up and running. What did that process look like for you? Like, you obviously have an induction and stuff, but what was the new start experience like for someone else who'd be considering maybe joining us?
Yeah, so it was kind of good. You had your first week where it was basically all classroom based. You're going over what exactly it is that we do, getting familiar with the kind of the job itself, the sales cycle, and just the basics that you do need to have before you can get out on the floor. But I did find that the kind of, I'd say, ramp targets were very beneficial, particularly for me, just because everything was so new, that it was such a whirlwind at the time, that they were very beneficial in the sense of, you know, once you were slowly, I suppose, able to build up to where you need to be, which is, I guess, the idea of it. But it was just, as you went, you know, you were supported through every aspect of it, and it just kind of helped your confidence grow with everything as well.
Yeah, and that's so important in a sales job, isn't it?
Absolutely,
to get your confidence up. All right, so my next question, I think, is leading back towards looking at how we support our clients. So Leyton services often involve us supporting clients with R&D tax credits, grants and innovation funding. How do you see the Irish ecosystem, so bigger picture, government agencies, academic partners, industry bodies, how do they align with those services, and where do you see the biggest opportunity for us?
Yeah, I mean, I think from my experience so far anyway, the biggest obstacle that there is at the moment is just education, in the sense of I've called companies from all different industries, and they just actually don't know what is available to them, not necessarily just the R&D tax credit side of things, but other grants and funding that is available to them. So I think for Leyton, what it would be trying to partner with and work closely with, like you said, government agencies or partnerships, to first of all just provide education for people about, okay, what is out there, and the big one is, yeah, you actually can claim. Like I had a guy called last week, and he was like, he heard it was like, well, look, we don't build robots. I was like, no, I know you don't build robots, but you don't need to in order to claim. Again, because it is industry broad. So I think the main thing for Ireland at the moment anyway is going to be working with other companies and agencies just to educate people out there that, look, this is actually for you.
Yeah, I think that's bang on. And even sometimes if they know what the scheme is, it's like they don't feel confident enough to take the jump themselves and actually put an application in. Yeah,
I think there is kind of maybe a bit of a fear of kind of revenue, like, okay, well, look, if we do this wrong, then they're going to come after us, which is obviously where we come in and help people know exactly what they can put forward, make the process easier for them, but be like, look, you should be doing this, and we're going to help you do it, basically.
Great. So can you tell us about some of your key achievements or proudest moments since joining Leyton, particularly in terms of your work with Irish clients, and I guess looking ahead to the next few years, what would success look like longer term?
Yeah, I mean, most of my work has been with the Irish clients. It's kind of the market I focused on the most, for obvious reasons of being Irish. But I think some of the maybe things I've been happiest with I've done is maybe hitting back on my last point of just, particularly with maybe smaller companies, letting them know that there is, and helping them, I suppose, access funding, that look, you are able for this, you should be getting it, this is going to help you and your staff in, well, the short term or the long term, depending. But look, you should be going after this, and it's just helping, I suppose, companies access everything that they do need.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely feels good, doesn't it, when you're able to help a company. I was actually speaking to a client last week who'd said, in his words, not my words, his words were, the benefit that we've received is literally put a bum back on a seat, and it's like, that's a huge win for a company, right, to be able to fund another person working in their organisation. I know this might be a bit of a tricky question to answer, but looking ahead to the next 2 or 3 years, what does success look like for you?
I think, well, like, I'd still primarily focus on the Irish market, and I think I'd like to become more of a central figure from the London office for the Irish market. So again, anyone in London who is working on Ireland, you know, I'd like to become someone they'd be able to go to for support, questions, and basically any help in that sense.
Like we've said throughout this podcast so far, the market is so untapped, right? So there's so much opportunity for you to position yourself as that kind of go-to person and to develop that knowledge, and there's so many clients we can continue to help, so there's lots for the other people in the organisation to support with as well. So yeah, I think that sounds like a very attainable goal for you, Adanya. Just keep working towards that.
Yeah, well, I hope so anyway.
So thank you so much for your time and for answering my questions. Is there anything else that you would want to say and get on the record before we end the recording?
No, I don't think so.
No, I've tapped you out. No problem at all. Well, thank you so much again for joining us, and thank you to everyone who's listening along at home. We'll be back in a month's time with our next episode of the Life at Leyton podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.